there are counterfeit Morgan dollars being sold online right now, and one of these is fake. At first glance, they look pretty similar. If you're newer to collecting, or maybe just haven't seen coins under magnification, sometimes catching these signs can be difficult. If you're looking at photos, they tend to flatten detail. Lighting can hide texture. And wear, well, that's going to reduce contrast. In photos and at normal viewing distance, these can look completely legitimate. But under a microscope, well, the differences show up quickly. Today, in this video, we're going to compare a certified Carson City Morgan dollar, a genuine raw example, and a counterfeit. And we're going to walk through exactly what you should be looking for. This coin was sold as genuine uncirculated. What does that mean? Genuine uncirculated is a dealer term. That's not a grade. It can cover a very wide range of conditions, and it is not a guarantee of high quality. To me, my eye, based on the surface condition, I would put this as likely a lower mint state coin. Likely around a mint state 60 to 62, if it's straight grades. So this isn't a perfect coin, but it really isn't supposed to be. But it is genuine, and that's what matters. Neither of these coins is perfect. Both show either wear or reduced eye appeal. They show a little bit of subdued luster, almost a normal circulated look. And somewhat believable surfaces. And as a result, this is where confusion can happen. Now, this is a certified coin graded mint state 63 by CACG. This is an 1884 Carson City. So this coin will give us a known reference. And what you'll notice is that you have very sharp edges. You've got the denticles that are very uniform. The lettering, very clean. There's consistent structure. You've even got a die crack right there between the E, the dot, and the PL. You have consistent structure across the surface. And that is what correct structure looks like. So now, instead of trying to guess what coin is real or not, we can compare actual structure. So again, look at the edge termination. Look at the device transitions. Look at that surface consistency and luster. The real raw coin still follows these rules. The counterfeit coin does not. Okay, now looping back to this comparison, notice how on the right, again, you've got defined edges, clean corners, and proper separation. On the fake, you see somewhat rounded edges, very softened detail, and reduced definition. And importantly, let me point something out. Notice the shape of this little, what should be a dot right here? That's more of a teardrop. Well, look over here. That is what you should be looking at. On the genuine coin, notice the shape and configuration of the eye. Where on the counterfeit, they've tried to put a little too much detail in there. And not only that, the dimensions of the coin are not right. Notice how on the genuine coin, you've got a little bit less of the actual relief detail that fits in that frame. Looking at the counterfeit coin, you see a lot more of the coin detail in that same section. That is not accurate. Now, not to mention, when we look at the surfaces on this coin, they have introduced something artificial to try to evoke the image of wear and circulation. And if I bring you all the way to the other side where it's a little bit more polished, you can see that it's just not what the coin should look like. It just looks fake. So again, once you know what to look for, this becomes much easier to see. All right, now let's zoom in on the actual rim of the coin. Okay, again, notice how the denticles are evenly spaced. And even though there's a few that have some damage up there by the E, they're still of consistent height. They have sharp transitions. All right, now let's swap in the fake coin. And you'll notice a couple of things right off the bat. You've got irregular spacing, uneven height. The tips are somewhat softened. And these patterns repeat across the coin. The letter R, not properly formed. The wheat husks, again, not properly formed. Liberty, very weak. Not at all what you would expect from a genuine coin. So again, when you look at the denticles around the legitimate coin and you see what Liberty and the wheat stalks should look like, when you see it compared like that, it becomes very easy to tell the difference. All right, now let's look at luster flow. The real mint state coin, the luster is a little bit subdued, but you can definitely see directional reflectivity. On the fake coin, there's really no luster to speak of unless you point the coin directly into the light, and then you'll get a reflection, but that's not really luster. It's just a much less organized reflection. So, wear or lower grade can reduce eye appeal, but it doesn't change or erase how the coin was made. So, let me ask you something. If you were looking at this pair of images in an online listing, which one would you feel more confident about bidding on? Now, there's obviously one more place that you want to look at very closely, and that is the mint mark. Now, look at the fake on the left, and then look at a legitimate mint mark on the right. You can see the difference in the text weight and the formation, placement, and the edge clarity. Now, individually, they're subtle, but taken together, they're very consistent. So now, when we put this image back up, you can see very clearly the difference. Even though both coins are imperfect, only one has the correct structure. Counterfeit coins are becoming more and more common in pretty much every online marketplace. Understanding what to look for helps reduce that risk. And learning to see these details is exactly what this series is designed to teach.